So good morning. Thanks for being here. This week we've been talking about love and our capacity for love and how yoga practice, while it invites us into the moment and it invites us into a deeper awareness of our body and our sensations and things like that, also offers us the opportunity to connect with that abundant and infinite source. There was a church that I used to attend many years ago that had a wonderful prayer, and it was the prayer that they would pray when they were passing the like offering receptacles. But I really loved it because it was about abundance. It said, "Mother, Father, God, all that I have and all that I am comes from your limitless supply. I am an open and willing conduit through which your good flows. I share all that I have: love, friendship, prosperity, peace, abundance, and joy. These things I give and I share and receive. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Amen." I just thought that was such a beautiful prayer because it was all about our everyone's ability to tap into that which is abundant. And we can practice this in a yoga setting most easily through the practice of observing our breath. So let's do that now. So finding your comfortable Sukhasana seat, just give a little extra attention as you come to your seated position to feel a sense of steadiness in the low body and a sense of lift and openness in the upper body. Maybe we're even able to create a sensation where there's just enough lift in the chest to feel that openness, but it feels more like floating rather than being pushed up from below. So maybe we can find that balance of effort and ease here. Notice how your breath responds to this new posture. And each time you breathe in, focus on receiving and expansion. Each time you breathe out, focus on offering and space making. Notice that each time we let go, we have the opportunity to maybe apply just a small amount of effort to release a little bit more breath. And how when we give that little extra effort, we actually create more space for that next breath to come in. And this is allowing us to sense that tapping into infinite resource, infinite abundance, infinite prosperity. And some of this might be material in nature, but quite a lot of abundance that we are able to tap into at any moment is tapping into a broader love, a broader sense of compassion, a broader sense of awareness. So you can tap into that as you receive and offer, as you expand and as you make space. You can maintain some connection to your breath as your eyes open. And let's bring the right hand over to the left knee and the left arm behind the body, just to gently begin to twist open to the left. Notice how it changes your breath. See if you can find that sense of groundedness again in your hips. And as you untwist, just place your left hand on the floor beside you. Inhale and bring the right arm up and over. This time, let's see if we can push the heart a little further to the right side. So we're still twisting, just a little bit more open. Again, see if you can soften through the hips and maintain that alertness in the spine. Coming back to a neutral position, take a breath or two or three, tapping back in, reconnecting our awareness to the breath, that flow of abundance in and out. And let's find the other side, left hand to right knee, right arm behind. When you find your twist, soften the hips again. Feel that sense of willing surrender, that offering sensation. Notice again how your breath responds to the new shape. Showing us that while it might look or feel different, we are always in that flow of abundance. We can always give or receive a little more by changing our breath. On an exhale, untwist. Place the right arm down on the mat, left arm up and over, and then draw the heart open to the left side. Twisting open, finding that same surrender, that offering with the hips as we breathe out. And the sense of expansion and opening in the heart and the spine as we breathe in. Good. On an exhale, release, coming to neutral. Pause for a breath or 2 or 3. Tapping back into our awareness of flow, receiving openly and giving generously as our breath moves. We're going to bring the twist into the hips now. So bringing the hands behind the body to lean back. You can free your legs from their cross position and just drop both knees over to the right. As we rise up into this modified deer twist, we're focusing less on the heart twisting around behind the body and focusing a little bit more on the hips. We might rock the torso just a little side to side. Notice how the knees or ankles or hips respond to different places of balance. So see if you can find a place where there's the most ease and softness in the hips. And then lift the heart. If it feels good to open a little more to the right, you can. This is more about the hips here, and just a lifted, open heart. Good. On your next inhale, come back to center. Maybe a breath or 2 or 3. Maybe the knees fall open in a round angle shape for this resting period between sides. And then knees can fall to the left. Adjusting your position, maybe moving a little through the torso to find a place of most ease, most surrender in hips, knees, and feet. And the heart is just gently open. I'm starting to feel more open in the hips and in the spine. On an inhale, we can come back to center as you feel ready. And dropping again, maybe into our little bound angle shape to allow the inner thighs to open a little bit. Just take a pause for a few breaths. And extend the legs long in front of you. We're going to take our first deeper fold today. So first finding that same openness in the chest and lengthen the spine. Soften at the backs of the knees, find some surrender there in the feet. Soften in your face and your breath. Big inhale into your heart, exhale to the chest. Big inhale into the back of the heart. Exhale, let your shoulders fall forward, rounding the spine. Big inhale into the whole back body now. So you can breathe down towards the sacrum. And exhale, squeeze the belly in as you just fall over the legs. You may be high or low here depending on your body and how you're feeling today. The idea is to release as much as possible through the musculature of the neck and shoulders. And allow gravity to pull your head downward towards your thighs. Feel how your breath assists you in this expansion of the back body as you inhale, and that soft surrender in the belly and the back of the neck as you exhale. Rolling or hinging back to seated. Bring your hands behind your body. We're just going to do a gentle lift 3 times here. So stabilizing through your hands and then pressing into the palms to gently lift the hips away from the floor. Maybe a breath or 2 or 3 before releasing your hips back to the floor. We're going to do this twice more. We might lift a little higher each time. We might just concentrate on holding the position a little bit more still or a little longer. So exhale and press into the floor. Find your hips lifting a little or a lot. And then releasing again. And one last round. We might also bend at the knees and step into a reverse table here if that feels good. So that's another option you can take. And we'll exhale to release the body back down to the floor. And come to standing at the top of your mat. So one of the sources of what seems to us in our lifetime is infinite energy is the sun. And we do honor the sun often in our yoga practice with sun salutations. So first find your grounding, your connection to the earth, your bodily living, your material comfort, and ground into that so you can just kind of soften and feel your weight of the heart and the head hovering kind of balanced above that. Just soften your shoulders, let your hands rest by your side for a moment. Just contemplate the space that your body's taking up. Contemplate the space around you, how much openness there might be. And then gently as you inhale, swing your arms out wide into that space, lifting them up above the head. Exhale, take a little dive. And we just practice our seated forward fold, and we practice inhaling into the back of the heart and see if we can get that breath to flow into the lower spine, which is now above. And we also practice on our exhale, softening through the belly and back of the neck. So over the next maybe 2 or 3 breaths, just kind of work your awareness into those places, the connection between breath and the body. On your next inhale, we're going to swing out wide with our arms as we hinge or roll back to standing, reaching above the head. Exhale, hands to heart. You might open the palms a little bit here. Again, that sense of receiving and offering into the heart center. Inhale, sweep out wide, sweep up again. Exhale, dive and roll. A few breaths here to tap into that relationship between breath and movement in the body, between effort and expansion, and between softening and offering. Inhale, sweep out wide again as you hinge or roll back to standing with the arms above. Exhale, hands to heart. We make a circle like the sun as we breathe in again. Exhale, we bow before that which is greater and more abundant than ourselves. We take a few breaths here to offer and receive. And this time, let's step both feet to the back of the mat and find down the palm. Pushing back with the hands, pushing forward with the feet, softening at the knees, the neck, and the belly. Feel a balance here, just like our breath, giving and receiving. Exhale, find either plank or table here. Notice that this is a little different than a reverse plank. It feels a lot different in the body, still challenging for different reasons. Exhale, release your knees and your body down to the mat. And as you inhale, find a little back. Cobra, snake, seal, up dog. Exhale to release. Pressing up through table, take an inhale into that body, cat spine. Exhale, child's pose. Full breath in and out here. And rise back to downward facing dog. Find that balance again of pushing forward and back. Find the release in the neck, the belly, breath. Back to the knees. On an inhale, right leg rises. On an exhale, it steps forward between your hands. That knee can stay lifted if you like, or you can drop it down to the mat. And then find some way to lengthen the spine, whether that's pressing against the floor of the thigh or raising and reaching the spine upwards. So any of those choices. Exhale, frame your toes again and step the left to meet the right. Take a few breaths in that forward fold again. Inhaling expansion, exhaling surrender or willing offering. Inhale, find your way, hinging or rolling with arms out wide, drawing that big circular sun, looking up to see the hands completing the circle. Exhale, hands to heart, chin to chest. Full breath in and out. Inhale, circle out wide. Exhale, fold. Pause with your breath. Feel the letting go on your exhale, the expansion on your inhale. And both feet again, step back to downward facing dog. Find your balance of effort and ease, of giving and receiving. Maybe we come into that equal breath, samavriti. Your next exhale, we find plank or table, lengthening your spine. Smooth breath, and then releasing the body down to the floor. On your inhale, start to find your back bend shape, cobra, sphinx, seal, up dog. Exhale to release. Inhale up to table and cat back. Exhale, child's pose. Full breath in and out. Feel the surrender of this shape. Then rise again, down facing dog. Watch your breath flowing through the body. Notice the position of your belly, whether the abdominal muscles are contracted or soft. See if you can soften them, and then step forward into your forward fold, recreating that same softness in the belly. Relax the back of the neck. Observe your breath. On an inhale, we're going to sweep out wide again, drawing that circular sun shape. Exhale, hands to heart, chin to chest. Maybe the palms open again. We have one more round of a sun salutation variation to open up our hips for our moon salutation. So sweeping out wide. Exhale, fold. Take a whole breath in and out before stepping back to downward facing dog. Exhale, find plank or table. Take a few breaths here. And on you're ready to release on your exhale, let the front body come down to the mat. Inhale, lift the heart away from the floor. Exhale, soften your back bend, back flat. Press up to table. Inhale into your back body, finding that cat arch. Exhale, child's pose. Inhaling back to downward facing dog. Softening the belly, back of the neck. Right hip, leg rises with your inhale and steps forward with your exhale. This time we're going to drop that back knee. And let the right knee fall open to the right. You might bring the right hand inside. And just kind of see if you can soften it or find that willing surrender, that letting go through the hips as we press into the floor with the arms to lift and lengthen the spine. Heart should shine forward of the shoulders. Slowly bring that right knee back in. You might come back to framing the right toes. And then stepping into our lunge, our left foot steps forward to meet the right. And we take a few breaths in our fold, softening knees, neck, belly, expanding through the backs of the legs and the heart. Inhale sweeps us back up, drawing that circular sun shape. Hands together, exhale, hands to heart, chin to chest, full breath in and out. Sweeping out wide again, inhale, exhale, fold. Full breath in and out before stepping back to downward facing dog.
Feel the inhaling, flowing into the back of the heart. Exhale, softening knees, belly, and neck. Last inhale, exhale, find table or plank. A breath or two before releasing the front body down to the floor. Inhale lifts the heart, open and expand. Exhale surrenders that effort. Inhaling into the table and into the back of the heart. Exhaling finds child's pose. Rising back through downward facing dog. Finding your balance, effort and ease, even breath. Giving and receiving, tapping into that abundance. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step it forward, low lunge as the right knee drops behind. And bringing the left hand inside the left foot and allowing the left knee to fall open. Same thing, surrender, offer, open through the hips. And effort, expansion, openness, as the heart shines forward of the shoulders and the spine lengthens. Notice the position of your chin, so you can get the longest possible spine from tailbone to crown. Sit with your breath. Notice any change to that flow and where it's located in the body. Last breath. And coming back to a more traditional lunge before stepping into the forward fold at the top of the mat. Take a breath or two to soften. Then bring your effort into your spine as you draw that wide circle again. Coming back up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart, chin to chest. Stepping toward the long edge of the mat, facing that now as the front. Stepping the feet just a little bit wider, just a little. Drawing the arms in that big circle shape again, and then leaning to the left. Inhale to center, lean to the right. Inhale, center. Take this a few more times. Find an even number to right and left. When you've completed whatever cycle you're on, come back to that center. Arms reach up, hands separate. Step the feet even wider. On your exhale, elbows and knees bend, thighs. Inhale, stretch and straighten. Exhale, thighs. Let's take this 3 more times. Inhaling to rise again. As you exhale, keep your arms straight as they come down to shoulder height. You're going to turn the left foot so toes and heels face long edges. Turn the right foot so it faces the short edge. Turn your gaze over that right hand. Lift and lengthen your spine, drop your shoulders, and exhale into warrior 2. Just kind of feel that inner thigh. Feel the energy coming into your heart and your belly with your breath. And see if you can send it out through your fingertips. Inhale, straighten that right leg. Stretch and straighten that right arm over the leg and turn into your triangle pose. Just 2 breaths here. Second exhale, both hands come down towards the right foot. Back foot pivot so we find our low lunge again. This time we're going to walk the right foot over towards the left hand and let the right knee fall down towards the mat. This is where a block or support might come in handy. Or you can walk your left leg back just a little bit. And you can feel free to stay upright in the body, heart shining forward, or reverse the direction, expanding the back of the heart instead by coming low. So your choice. We're going to stay about 7 breaths. Finding some surrender here as much as possible. Notice where there might be places of resistance. See if you can just receive enough breath to make space for that resistance. And as you exhale, surrender to it. Offer yourself to that. To come out of this pigeon pose, we're going to start to draw our way back into that lunge shape. So adjusting your props or your body to come back into that lunge. We're going to turn to find Skandasana. So maybe we're down low towards the mat here. Maybe we're up a little bit higher. You can even move back and forth between that high and low. Feel expansion in the inner left thigh. Use your exhale to soften your hips. And walk your hands along that long edge of the mat to find Skandasana on the other side. This time the right leg feels expanded. We might be lifting or moving. We might be finding stillness. But our effort here is to find openness and expansion in that inner right thigh and softness and surrender in that left hip. Maybe another breath here. Before walking the hands toward the other short side of the mat now to find our low lunge with the left foot forward. The left foot's going to walk over to that right wrist and fall open to the left to find our pigeon shape again. Either finding the support of a prop or the floor below you, choosing between heart forward and shoulders back, or a little lower towards the mat with the back of the heart lifted above the shoulders. And again, we'll take several breaths to be present here. Notice where, as you breathe in, where does that breath flow into? And as you breathe out, where is space made in the body? Where could you offer yourself a little more fully? And where could you receive a little bit more abundantly? To come out, we'll come back into our basic low lunge shape. And from here, we'll start to prepare the right foot behind us to come to standing again. So as we come to standing, we'll adjust the right foot, so toes and heels face long edges, left foot faces short edge. Inhaling the arms out to shoulder height, softening the shoulders down, opening the heart. Breathe into the heart center, breathe out through the fingertips. As we exhale, we're going to reach that left arm over the left leg and pivot into our triangle for just 2 breaths. We'll hinge from here back into our starting position with arms at shoulder height. And then exhale into the left knee, warrior 2. Feel that inner thigh, that expansion happening in the left thigh. See if you can create that same expansion in the heart and the length of the spine. Breathe into your heart, breathe out through your fingertips. Good, straightening that left leg. We'll step the feet so that we're feeling a little bit more balanced on the wide stance facing that long edge. Inhale, arms up above your shoulders. Exhale, goddess pose. 4 more. Inhale, stretch up and straighten. Exhale, sink down, goddess pose. Feel how open you feel as you sink down, even though there's tension in those thighs as they stretch. Feel the openness in your hips that we've been creating throughout practice today. That openness allows both forgiving and receiving. Last one. Straightening both legs, stepping slightly back together, but still keeping a bit of a wide stance. Arms reach up above the head, exhale to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Take a few rounds in each direction.
Eventually coming back to center, step the feet back together. Bring your hands to your heart, either prayer or open palms, chin to chest. And just let your heart rate slow. Let your breath begin to find a softer pace. And eventually we will come back to seated on the mat. So you can face forward again. And then just coming down to a seated shape. We're gonna roll our way down to the back from here. So if you'd like to create a little cat shape first by tucking chin to chest and deeply rounding the spine, you can do that and then roll using just your abdominals, or you can roll using the support of your hands, but moving very slowly, kind of feeling where each bone is making contact with the floor as you make your way down. These slower paces sometimes require us to use the support of our arms. And once you're fully on the floor, make any adjustments to the position of your spine to feel natural and elongated and supported. Take a breath or so in stillness here, again, slowing the breath. And the right knee can draw into the chest. You can choose whether your left foot stays planted or if your leg extends. That's up to you. Whatever's most comfortable for your body. You can just roll that right ankle around on the foot, feeling all the space around the foot. See how wide into space you can kind of reach your toes around your foot. This is part of experiencing that abundance. It's just noticing the space around us. Abundance isn't always about owning or keeping for ourselves. Sometimes it's just about experiencing what is all around. From here, let's draw that right knee out a little wider to the right. So right hand can support either from the top or from below that right knee. And let's see where we can kind of draw some lines with the knee. Just kind of see how far out into space we can kind of draw that right knee. See how much space you can move around in, just kind of feeling that openness around it. And maybe we start to feel that same openness in the hips. We've done a lot of hip intensive poses today. Just maybe from here we take a little half happy baby for a couple of breaths. And then we'll start to draw the right knee over towards the left side. So we're just gonna pass that right knee off to the left hand, which can either support from on top of the knee or from underneath. And we don't need to necessarily reach the floor on that left side. We're really just trying to feel some stretch and opening on the outside of this right hip. See if you can soften the whole left leg, whether it's extended or bent. Relax and release the shoulders down to the floor. Soften your breath. Find that willingness or that offering. Notice where there's space or expansion in the body. Drawing that knee back to more of a center hold towards the chest. We are going to be bent at the left knee now, left foot on the floor. Right ankle is going to just kind of rest at the top of that left thigh towards the knee and just gently open again here. So right knee coming out wide to the right. Perhaps it would feel good to lift that left foot off the mat and draw the left knee towards the chest, even as the right knee gently pushes away. Feel how this changes the flow of your breath. Where is there space, either from surrendering or from opening? If your left foot's away from the mat, go ahead and replace it back on the mat, and then just slide your right leg a little bit more over like you're seated in a chair, cross-legged. And then just very gently, we're gonna let both knees now fall toward the left side of the mat. Now this might require support, or it might require that you uncross your legs a bit or completely. That's okay. But let both knees fall to that left side.
Where's there space? Where are you offering? Where are you receiving? Letting go of tension, allowing for more flow in the body. Notice if the direction of the twist is changing the flow of energy as it moves in your body or in the space that you're in. And eventually we'll come back to center and uncrossing the legs, both soles of the feet on the mat. Now straighten out the spine. Then let the feet come closer together and the knees fall open. Again, this might be a good place for block support under the knees. You can also keep the soles of the feet on the floor and just let the knees fall open. Again, notice where space has shifted in the body. Where are you receiving? Where is there a softness that allows for you to offer fully? Eventually the soles of the feet come back to the floor. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Right sole can stay planted or right leg could extend long, up to you. And again, just see how much space you can move your right or your left foot around it. So you can explore as much space as possible around your ankle. This kind of takes us to a more extreme stretch in other parts of the body. It's not just isolated where we grow in one area of our lives and the rest is, not growing. As we grow in any place in our lives, it affects the rest of our lives as well. We're again going to open that left knee out to the left. So left hand might be supporting that knee from underneath or from above. We're again just going to explore some movement here. Once that knee is open to the left, see how much space you can kind of move around in. Recognizing that abundance is sometimes about just being in abundance rather than having abundance for ourselves. We're just participating in the vastness of everything. We'll eventually hand that left knee off to the right and just gently cross the body. Right hand supporting from below or above, and then just see where you can soften through the shoulders, through that whole right leg. Let go and find some stillness. And breathe into that spacious abundance in your heart. Give generously of your exhale, making more space for your next receiving. Just be present with the flow of energy in your body. Releasing back to a more centered place, left knee still into the chest. Right sole of the foot should come to the floor, if not already. And we'll again cross that left ankle over the right thigh, gently drawing the left knee out wider to the left and away from the torso. Maybe it feels good to draw that right knee into the chest to accentuate that sensation. And just see where you can let go. We often want to engage our abdominal muscles to pull the tailbone away from the floor. So if you can soften the belly and let the tailbone drop back towards the floor. Feel the space that's made at the mid-back, away from the mat. The space in the heart. The very attention-getting space at the left hip. Just be present with that flow. Noticing where there's space from receiving and space made by letting go. Space is the key to flow. As we know, we can observe that with water or gases and air. But this is also true of energy, abundance of any kind. As you release your right foot back to the floor, if it's not already, just cross that left leg a little tighter over the right as if seated in a chair, and then gently drawing both knees over to the left. And again, if the cross-legged position is working for you, you can decrease that or uncross the legs entirely. So just letting both knees fall to that left side. Again, noticing where there's space. Noticing if the flow of energy or breath through the body feels more twisted or circular in this position. Just see if you can be present with it and watch the flow. A wise teacher who I can't remember so that I can't credit them. So that yoga is not about stretching, it's about making space. So you can approach these last few poses with the purpose of making space. And then observing where your breath flows. When you feel ready, starting to draw your knees back to center, uncrossing, readjusting the spine as needed. And again, we'll allow the knees to fall open. Allow a little bit more passive stretch of that inner thigh. Knees can come back together, soles of the feet on the floor. And we'll take a few bridge poses here just to open up the front body a little bit. And we'll counteract that with a little curling. So, soles of the feet on the floor. Take a nice big breath. Feel the space of your low belly. Receiving, and as you exhale, put a little effort into the feet to lift the sacrum again away from the floor. Similar to our reverse plank that we took at the very beginning of class. Slightly different feel. Shoulders much more relaxed. Soften your body back down to the floor. Let the floor take your weight for a breath or two. Then inhale to prepare and exhale to lift again. If you are ready for a little more challenge, you can lift one leg or cross one leg over the top, kind of we did in our little figure 4 shape. Or you could just lift a little bit higher. On an exhale, soften and release your body back down. Allow your weight to be received, like offer your whole body to the floor for a breath or two. And rise last time into our bridge pose. If you have a block nearby, feel free to take a supported version of this pose. Otherwise, just trying to keep as even in our breath as we can. Matching the effort in the legs and thighs with ease in the shoulders and the face. Balance. And again, as you're ready to release the pose, do so slowly and on an exhale, releasing your sacrum back to the floor. Take another resting breath or 2 or 3, offering your whole body to the floor. Notice as you offer the body to the floor, as you sacrifice or surrender the body, there is more space in the front body to receive your next breath. When you're ready, knees can come into the chest, and perhaps the head lifts away from the floor a little bit to coil into a little cannonball type shape. You might find a little rocking from side to side here, or along the length of the spine if that feels good. Just kind of reversing some of that compression in the low back from our back bends. If you haven't released your head, go ahead and release it back down to the floor. Gently taking the outside of your feet into your hands. We're going to bend at the knees and find a little happy baby. This time you can let the sacrum come away from the floor. You might find, again, a little rocking from side to side or straightening each leg one at a time or both at the same time. Just kind of finding some movement here. Kind of see how much space you can take up in this shape. And releasing our happy baby. Notice if there's any other movement that your body is requesting in this moment. Maybe there's something stabilizing that needs to happen for you. Maybe we need to apply pressure or attention to a certain part of the body. Maybe we just need to sit with our breath. Perhaps it's a moment to gather a blanket or prop to make your resting pose more comfortable. There is an abundance of time in this moment for your practice, whether that is a practice of stillness or a practice that's still continuing to move a bit here. But eventually, over the course of the next few minutes, finding your way into some kind of stillness shape. Something to consider as you find your way into stillness, kind of recalling some of the motions or positions that we found with our bodies in practice today. There was always a balance of giving and receiving. Every time we took a breath in, we took a breath out. Every time we found an opening in one part of the body, there was a compression in another part of the body. And as we moved, we could sort of rearrange those places of space and places of compression to adjust or work with the flow of whatever name you give to that, whether that's abundance, it could be prana, could be chi, could be ki, this breath, it could be a lot of things. As you work with flow in your life and whatever areas that's showing up for you, as you find your stillness, maybe contemplate that. Where are you aware of flow, either because of a lack of it or of an abundance of it? Where are there places in your life that you have not had to think about flow because it was working really, really well? Just kind of find some gratitude in your heart for that. And start to find your stillness. Recall the way we released our hips to the floor in our first pose. In our lunges, we released our hips down. And just allow that back of the sacrum, your hip area, to just kind of anchor its way into the floor, softening, finding stability. And then from that anchored place, begin to allow that willingness, that open offering of your body into the floor. And just trust that you are supported. Trust that all the resources you need to complete your purpose and to live your very being, your very essence, are abundantly within and around you. Breathe in with openness, receptivity. And breathe out with willingness, generosity, and surrender. Feel space being made in the body as you receive breath, and you feel that sense of expansion. Feel space being made in the body and in the mind, in the home and in your life as you release and let go. That freeing sensation.
Stay connected to the flow of breath in your body. Feel the relationship between your receiving and your openness, and your releasing and your sense of freedom. The more we receive, the more we have to give. And the more we give, the more space we make to receive. These are not separate and opposing forces. They're working together. Just like our breath in works with our breath out. Part of whole. And this wholeness is our true identity. It's our sat now. From whatever position you are in, start to find a broader state of being. Start to open the heart a little bit more, deeper breaths, maybe spreading fingers and toes. Perhaps after a few breaths, the limbs start reaching out and opening in some way. And once you've expanded, sort of soften again in that more open state. Just kind of feel that effortlessness, the space it creates as you receive your breath in and your breath flows back out. And this is a state of that passive openness where flowing in and flowing out are one motion. And we're just open, there's no hindrance. And just to remind ourselves of our own limitations, let's start to draw ourselves inward towards the heart center. Start to draw all that energy and all the limbs inward. Maybe we curl into that little ball shape again. And just notice that it's not as sustainable to hold ourselves in this smaller shape. It's much more open and relaxed to let go. So find your way to a side lying shape and then soften your whole body again. Just release and relax. Notice not only the space within you as you breathe in and expand, and the space that is created as you breathe out, but also noticing, even with your eyes closed, the space around you. And we haven't taken all of that space into our bodies, but we can perceive it and participate in it as we just let our breath flow. Remembering that abundance is sometimes about just simply being present with all that is. Take another breath or two to experience and just allow that abundance to flow. And then begin your journey back to an upright seat. Find that same sensation of surrender, of offering your body to the floor through the hips. That same sensation of openness and space being made in the upper body. And again, checking in with your breath. See if you can find that balance of soft belly, but lifted or floating heart. Imagine it expanding, kind of like that balloon idea, but just kind of floating. And when you found that space, let's open the arms out wide, making one more great big circle. As we exhale, pulling hands into heart center, chin to chest. This posture is a twofold posture. It is acknowledging both the light within ourselves and that same light as the essence of all other beings, and we bow to that. You can feel free to open your palms a little here for that sense of opening, if you like, or that receiving and giving. But we offer our practice, our surrender, our effort, and our daily life to this oneness that is all things. And so we close our practice with this prayer of service. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, safe, and free. Namaste.